All right, LeBron, we just need one, pal. LeBron James, we need tonight. We need it. The season's on the line tonight, LeBron James. 23, King. How do you respond, man? I mean, scored 30 points, 34, 40 points, and we still lost. Oh, my God. We'll get to the Lakers and Timberwolves in a second. Huge day today in the NBA. Again, that's by far the biggest game today. Lakers, Timberwolves. I would be lying to you if I wasn't a little bit concerned. That's today. We get Knicks, Pistons, Celtics, Magic, who cares, and Pacers, Milwaukee to close the night. 4 games today in the NBA, all game 4s, all 3 series 2-1. Huge games in these series. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today on the channel, we posted our MLB best bets, so make sure to go check that out. Link in the description down below. And later today on Greedo Plays MMA at noon, our UFC Fight Night Des Moines predictions with Corey Sandhagen and Davison Figueiredo in the main event. And later this week on Greedo Plays, we will have our PFL 4 predictions with Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis, taking on Rob Wilkinson. Okay, on to the first of our 4 games today. This is the, game before the Lakers on ABC, the Knicks and Pistons. This is a huge game. It is. For, the Pistons losing game 3, it is what it is, right? A game that I thought was very winnable for them. New York obviously comes out on top by 2. The game, I don't know. The Pistons made it really close at the end. The refs did miss the over and back on Jalen Brunson at the end of the game. But anyways, right, very competitive basketball game. The Pistons were trailing for most of that second half. They came charging back, but obviously the Knicks held them off and New York won the basketball game. This is still a massive game though, right? ABC, it's game 4 for Detroit. The Pistons are trying to ensure that this series has to come back to Detroit for game number 6, and I think they absolutely do it. We have been kind of all over the Pistons in this series. They've covered in a lot of these, they've covered in 2 of these games. They didn't obviously in game 3. I think they get it done tonight. I'm not going to deny the Knicks are a good basketball team. I think they are. I think the Pistons, though, just rise to the occasion in this spot. The Pistons had a very good shooting night. Tim Hardaway had a very good shooting night in game 3. He goes 7 for 12 from beyond the arc. Malik Beasley, though, pal, you need to step it up. 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. Ain't gonna cut it in a game like this. But Dennis Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr. have balled out this series for Detroit, and especially in game 3, both those guys were excellent. Schroeder, 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. Cade Cunningham didn't have his best day. A lot of shots Cade took in that game, which obviously you expect out of the All-Star for this squad. But Cunningham, I'd hope's a little bit more efficient in this game 3. And I just think, again, these 2 teams I feel like are very evenly matched. This is a series that I think is going to go 2-7 games now. And I just think the Knicks win this. Sorry, I think the Pistons win this one before the Knicks likely get game 5. I think the Pistons will get game 6. And again, we'll see game 7 once we get there. The Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, I guess, is officially bought into basically a 6-man rotation. Let's just be honest. Yes, Cameron Payne and Miles McBride are going to see their minutes in the second quarter and a little bit potentially early fourth. But for the most part, it's a 6-man rotation. This is what we've always expected out of New York and Tom Thibodeau, right? Unlike the Pistons, who do go to their bench a lot, they aren't really running basically an 8-man rotation plus Ron Holland, depending on how much Holland plays on any particular night. But the Knicks are really just their starters, obviously. Brunson, Adenubi, Bridges, Hart, Cat, and then Mitchell Robinson, obviously the defensive presence off the bench at the 5. The thing is, Mitchell Robinson only plays 16 minutes, and I'm talking about Ron Holland, who plays 14 minutes in these games, like he's just sometimes we'll see Holland, sometimes we won't. So for the most part, yes, the Knicks are playing their starters the entire game. Which, hey, that's what they do. That's what Tom Thibodeau does. I do question sometimes, again, how are they going to be deeper in the playoffs? And how are they going to be deeper in the series when their guys are playing 42 minutes in every single game? But so far, right, Knicks up 2-1. Competitive game in game 3. This time around, I think the Pistons get them. I think so. I think Cade has a better night. I think Malik Beasley gives them a spark off the bench after a disappointing game number 3. I don't expect Tim Hardaway and Dennis Schroeder to keep shooting like they did in game 3, but honestly, right, Dennis Schroeder hit a big shot in game 2, looked good in game 3, so maybe he does continue that. I think this all does start with Cade Cunningham, though, right? If Cunningham is just a little bit more efficient, if Cunningham scores maybe 30 points instead of his 24, and is just more of an all-around threat, I think the Pistons, at least scoring threat, I think the Pistons obviously win that game 3, and I think they're going to win this game 4 as well. So I'm taking Detroit here. Obviously, again, this is going back to New York for game 5. Regardless of this outcome, it's just a matter of if we're going to see the series hit Detroit again for game number 6 later in the week. And I think we do. I think the Pistons get this game again. I think it's really dependent on what Cade Cunningham's able to do, but I think Cunningham's going to have a good night. I think the shooters around him are able to step up to the occasion as well. Oddly enough, I think, again, this is a big Malik Beasley night, and if he doesn't have a big night, I think the Pistons are kind of screwed. I think Detroit's going to be rocking for this game, though, right? ABC spot, early game. It's a 1 o'clock game in Detroit, Michigan. I think they get it done. Give me the Pistons to win this game at home. Odds are almost even, kind of. Pistons minus 130. Let's play it. You can take the spread, but I just go money line here. Pistons 130 to beat the New York Knicks to kick off the day. All right, here we go. Lakers, Timberwolves. This is not me being a LeBron Glazer. I'm not just picking the Lakers because I like the Lakers. This is now or never. It just is. It's not now or never in the career of LeBron James, right? This is not LeBron's swan song. He is 100% coming back next season. I expect him to go 2 more years, if I'm being honest. But for this season, yes, this is it. And sure, LeBron's come back from down 3-1 before, right? We've seen it in the finals. I completely understand that. I just don't think this Lakers team can come back from 3 games to 1 against this Timberwolves team. I just don't think so, right? If the Lakers lose tonight, I fully expect them to win game 5. There's a chance they can just, completely lay an egg when they go back home. But I think they would win a game 5. I don't think Luka's going to let them lose 3. Or I don't think Luka's going to let them lose in 5. But in the game I'd be really concerned about is game 6 in Minnesota. I'm just going to be honest. That's the one where I'm like, I don't know if they can get that, And honestly, we're taking the Lakers tonight. The way I see the rest of the series going, I'm going to be honest, Lakers in 7. I think that's how this goes. The Lakers win tonight, Lakers win game 5, Timberwolves win game 6, Lakers get game 7. That's how I see it going right now. Again, that could all change. But there is, I believe, serious rationale on why I think the Lakers win this game compared to me just being a fan of the team. I am going to fully say that I think Luka's stomach bug and whatever, medical condition he was dealing with for game 3, that changed that game. Let's just be honest. Guys, Luka was playing horribly in that game, couldn't shoot. There was multiple times where he got a rebound and instantly gave it back up to Jaden McDaniels or Anthony Edwards. Luka played a horrible defensive game, and it got to the point where I was thinking, maybe Luka should just be off the court here. And we do have a problem, the Lakers do. We don't have a center. I like Jackson Hayes, but Jackson Hayes is the backup center in this league. He just is. It's not playable in the playoffs. He's not. He'll start the game, he'll come in, but when we look at Minnesota, he can't really contend. So then we do get out rebounded a lot, but we get stuck with DFS playing, obviously, and you see Rui and or Braun, and sometimes DFS guarding Gobert or whatnot. The Lakers just need to play better defense tonight. This is where this all stems from. If the Lakers play good defense, they're going to win. And I think, again, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. When Luka's taking over on offense, and Luka isn't getting pickpocketed by Rudy Gobert on the perimeter like he did in Game 3, the Lakers are difficult to deal with because then you get a 100% LeBron James on the other side of the ball working his ass off defensively, and then Luka can take over on the offensive side of things. AR, I think, was all right in Game 3. Wasn't a great Reeves night, but he was serviceable, I'll say that. And LeBron, what more can I say about the guy? 38 points, 10 rebounds. He's the greatest basketball player of all time. He just is, right? He's 40 years old doing this. Who's better? Nobody's better, right? I think the Lakers get this, though, because I don't think Luka's going to play as badly as he did in Game 3. He's not even on the injury report anymore. He's fully healthy. That's behind him now. So I think Luka has a much better Game 4. The Lakers realize where they're at in this series. Last time they were down in this series was Game 2, obviously, and they won that Game 2. I don't want to say fairly easily, but they led that game from pillar to post. This is a huge basketball game. You cannot go down 3 games to 1 in the series, and if you do, I firmly expect the Timberwolves to win the series. I just do. Now, where do I look at the Lakers from a long-term outlook here? I don't think they're going to the finals. I'm just going to be honest. I hope they do. I just don't know how they're going to be able to deal with Oklahoma City. And yes, I still firmly believe if the Lakers get the Warriors next round, which is looking like it's going to be, I think the Lakers beat the Warriors. I still think they do. I just don't know how this team's going to beat Oklahoma City. Now, if it's Denver there, maybe. But this might be a hot take. If the Clippers play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, I think the Lakers can win. I wouldn't feel good about it, though. I still think the Clippers are good. I know, again, the Nuggets won yesterday. That series is tied again. I kind of fear the Clippers a little bit. I just do. But then I do realize, okay, the Clippers are just, they're the Jets. They're the Mets. Like, the Lakers should be okay. I don't know. Again, that's very far-fetched. The Lakers still got to take care of the Timberwolves. And this is not going to be easy, but I think they are going to come through. I think we see a much better Luka Doncic night tonight. And I think Luka's going to put this team on his back today and not let them lose. Because I think, in part, I do think Luka probably thinks that he is kind of the reason they lost that game 3, which, let's just be honest, he was. Now, Lakers, they made so many stupid mistakes on their side of the ball. Like, whenever they got close and drew that, Timberwolves lead down to 1, a stupid mistake happened, right? I mean, there was 4 minutes to go. Lakers cut the lead to 1. Full court pass to LeBron, and he loses the basketball. Minnesota comes back on the other side, hits a 3. It's just, they can't make the stupid mistakes. I don't think they will. The thing is, the Timberwolves didn't even shoot all that well yesterday, or in game 3. I think the Lakers are going to be fine. I really think so. They're going to be better defensively, and they're going to win this basketball game. We're going Lakers money line here on the road in Minnesota, and we get great odds at it. Plus 130 for the Lake Show in Minnesota. Next up, game 3 on the day for game 4 with the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Orlando got game 3. I think that's the only one they get. I think so. No Drew Holiday tonight for Boston. We'll see where Jaylen Brown fits into all of this. He is questionable this game. In Boston, the injuries are the only thing that's stopping them, I believe, from winning the Eastern Conference. And yes, I've been very high on the Indiana Pacers all year long. I think Cleveland's a very good unit as well. But I do believe, again, injuries are going to be the only thing that holds back Boston. No Drew Holiday tonight like we saw in game number 3. Jaylen Brown, again, played game 3. I expect him to play tonight. He's questionable, but I think Jaylen Brown's going to play. That's fine. Orlando's a good defensive unit. That's what they're going to do to you, right? They beat the Celtics by 2. Boston scored 11 points in the third quarter when it looked like they were likely going to go up 3-0 at halftime. Orlando played a good defensive half. I'm going to give them that. I know how good this team is defensively. They didn't shoot the ball that well, but that's just not what Orlando does. They win these gritty type games, and they just find ways to edge out victories. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to edge Boston tonight, okay? I think the Celtics are going to find a way to finish. And I think the Celtics get it done, right? I'm looking at Jason Tatum, who had a phenomenal game number 3. I think he'll do exactly what he did in that game, and I just think the supporting pieces around him, looking at you, Derek White, start hitting your 3s. I'm looking at Porzingis, who didn't have a great game 3. I think these guys are going to come through. Again, I'm not worried about Boston at all. Hell, I don't think it's going to happen. But even if the Magic win this game, I'm still not concerned about Boston. And yes, here I am wearing a Lakers jersey. I don't think the Celtics are going to see any trouble until the Eastern Conference Finals, where they do get either Indiana or Cleveland. Don't get me wrong, I expect Boston to probably win both of those series, but that's when we say, okay, maybe we're going to 6, maybe we're going to 7. But here against Orlando, there is no threat. There just isn't. Let's be honest, guys. There's a reason the Magic were in the play-in. I understand, again, Banchero and Wagner are great. I have sung the praises of Paolo Banchero this entire season, and I know how good Franz Wagner can be when, again, he is on his best, right? Playing at his best. But this team just can't stack up with Boston in a 7-game series. Again, that's why they play 7 games, right? Orlando gets 1. They're not going to get... I don't think they're going to get another one. I think Boston really takes control of the series here in Game 4, and then Game 5, I firmly believe, will be a blowout. Hell, they've already got that game penciled in on, Tuesday on NBA TV. That's absolutely great. But yeah, Boston's going to take a commanding 3-1 game lead in this series. Expect Derek White to be better. Expect Jaylen Brown, who actually didn't have a bad game 3, but I expect JB to have a bigger presence in that game. And I think Porzingis as well. Again, Jason Tatum, right? You want to hate on the guy, you call him cringe, whatnot, and sure, he may be all of the above. I just called him cringe regardless. The guy's a good basketball player, right? Boston doesn't need to limit the turnovers, right? Jaylen Brown turned the ball over 6 times. Jason Tatum turned the ball over 7 times. But I think they're going to be okay in this spot. Again, that's just what Orlando does. They're a relentless defensive team that is going to pressure you the entire game. But if Boston's just a little bit better offensively, Orlando, again, cannot match you shot for shot. They win because of their defense. And hell, yeah, defense wins championships. I don't know in this day and age in the NBA. Boston's so dependent on their shooting. They're going to be fine tonight. This will be one of those games where they do hit their shots, unlike Game 3, where they went 9 for 27 from beyond the arc. Still much better, by the way, than the Magic shot, but I'm taking Boston tonight to win on the road in Orlando, and I expect them to cover the line as well. Boston -6.5. The line, I have the graphic messed up. It should be -6.5, not +6.5. I'm taking Boston here on the road in Orlando. Next up, we move to our final best bet of the video, and we go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. For the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. Give me the Pacers. Sure, good for Milwaukee. You got your game 3. Congrats. You're not going to get swept. You're just losing in 5 now. Gary Trent just had one of those fake games. Let's just be honest. Let's call it how it is, guys. That's a fake game from Gary Trent. 9 3-pointers, 9 for 12 from beyond the arc. That is a fake stat line. That's one of those games that just happen. And then in 3 years or in 5 years, you're going to see it on Twitter when you're scrolling. It's going to be, remember that time Gary Trent scored 37 points in game 3 for the Milwaukee Bucks? And you're going to say, oh yeah, that happened. Oh, but the Pacers won that series in 5 games. You know, it's just one of those stat lines. Damian Lillard's not, he's not playing well right now. And sure, again, right, the guy had the blood clot issue. He's just getting back on the court. But the Bucks can't really rely on Damian Lillard right now. 2 for 12 shooting in game 3, 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. That's not good. Gary Trent, again, and I said this too. I said, okay, Gary Trent should be starting over Taurean Prince. And that's exactly where they went, right? Taurean Prince played 3 minutes in game number 3. So good on Milwaukee starting Trent. He's not going to do that again, though. If he does, I'll be damned. But, and I'll be okay taking that L if Gary Trent scores 35 plus again. But I don't expect that to happen. I really don't. Yeah, we know Giannis is going to be great. That's what he does. He's going to get to the free throw line, whatever, Indiana didn't have a good night. Surprisingly, Tyrese Halliburton had his best shooting night. Goes 4 for 9 from beyond the arc. Halliburton really had struggled with the three-point ball all series long. It's just everyone else kind of struggled in game 3. But honestly, guys, the Pacers going into halftime, I thought we were fine. 10-point lead. I was feeling good about that. And then Gary Trent happened in the third quarter. It is what it is. Indiana has been in control of this entire series. The Bucks had a miracle second half to keep them alive in this thing. I'm not concerned at all. I'm really not. Now, again, Miles Turner needs to be better. He had a bad game 3. I'm looking at Andrew Nembhard, who, again, is a big game changer, who can, again, affect series, but he really played poorly in game 3. I have no issues about the play of Siakam, Nesmith, or Tyrese Halliburton. But, again, we need better production out. These other guys, hell, even Mathurin off the bench, couldn't hit a three-pointer, right? Ben Shepherd played 15 minutes, which I know some of those are garbage time minutes. But regardless, I think the Pacers are going to be okay. I've been saying it all year long. I tell you guys how highly I think of this basketball team, and I believe all of that. I love the Pacers this season, and I have for a while. And I think Tyrese Halliburton, again, he's the point god. He is what Chris Paul was. Now, again, scoring-wise, he needs to bump that up a little bit. But, this is what Tyrese Halliburton is going to have the legacy of Chris Paul, I just think, with a ring someday. Expect Siakam to continue to dominate. Expect Halliburton to continue to improve that three-point shot, in which we saw in game number 3. And again, I expect Nembhard, Turner, and even Mathurin to be better as well. And then with the Bucks, right? I don't think Lillard's going to. We've seen a pattern now with Lillard. I just don't think he's up to speed. I don't think, again, he's at his best. So I don't think he's all that reliable of a scorer. Yes, Lillard's going to hit his occasional shot. The guy scored 7 points in game 3, single digits in game 2. Halliburton literally owns the guy as well. So, I swear every clip you see of Damian Lillard interacting with Tyrese Halliburton, Halliburton's bitching the guy. All right? I have nothing against Dame, by the way, but it's just like, what? You're beefing with Tyrese Halliburton and you're down in the series? I don't get it. Anyways, I don't know, why does everyone have beef with Tyrese Halliburton? Like, the Pistons do, the Bucks do. Like, what's going on? He's the most overrated player in the game. Like, what are we doing here? And even so, okay, here's the thing. When Gary Trent goes back to being Gary Trent, guys, and yes, still a very good three-point shooter, but he not 9 for 12 good, obviously. So when Gary Trent goes back to even just shooting 45% from beyond the arc, it's still just Giannis. Kuzma can't score. Brook Lopez, he scored 0 points in game 3. I know he only played 15 minutes, but he's unreliable. They played Bobby Portis a lot, who did not have a good game 3, at least compared to what he did in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I still think Milwaukee's going to have trouble keeping up with the Pacers, and we saw that in the first half. They just had a miracle third quarter with Gary Trent. That's not going to happen again. Give me Indiana. They're going to come through tonight, and I like the Pacers' money line on the road in Milwaukee, again, like the Celtics, to take that commanding 3-1 lead in the series, and they're going to do away with this team in Game 5. Why is that game on NBA TV on Tuesday? What? It's at 3 o'clock? That's crazy. Why is that game at 3? That's ridiculous. Just run at the same time as the Knicks. Like, that's just dumb. Anyways, folks, we're taking the Pacers here in the nightcap tonight. 6:30, by the way. That's 8:30 over in Milwaukee. I'm taking the Pacers to win this game. Plus money. You can take the spread, but it's playoff basketball. We take the money line. Plus 155 for the Pacers. Folks, that'll do it for our NBA predictions here for April 27th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.